Hi students, agrarian social structure and emerging class structure in rural India. Already we have discussed part A. Now let us discuss the part B. Now let us discuss about agrarian social structure in post-independence period. The post-independence period witnessed significant changes in the agrarian class structure in India. The impact of land reforms and rural development programs facilitated the emergence of new forces of change. In fact, the challenges to the feudal class structure emerged with the rise of the nationalist movement. Analyzing these changes, Yogendra Singh says that the agrarian class structure everywhere in India had a feudal character. The challenge to the feudal class structure came with the nationalist movement when not only was a radical agrarian ideology accepted, but also national leadership actively undertook the cause of the exploited peasantry and led Kisan or peasant movements in various parts of the country. Following independence, therefore, land reforms were introduced in most states and a beginning was made for transformation in the agrarian class structure. Most sociological studies of the agrarian structure refer to these processes of social change. Moreover, the significant trends mentioned in such studies are: number one, that there is a wide gap between land reform ideology projected during the freedom movement or even thereafter and the actual measures introduced for land reform. Consequently, socialist transformation in the class structure of the villages has not taken place. Then second one, this lack could partly be explained by the class character of the Indian political and administrative elite who are resistant to the needed radical reforms. Then third one, the existing land reforms have initiated a process by which the security of tenure and economic prosperity of the rich peasantry has increased, not the condition of the small peasants both in respect of economic level and tenurial stability has deteriorated. Fourth, the feudalistic and customary types of tenancy has declined and it has been replaced by a capitalistic form of lease labor or wage labor agrarian system. Then fifth one, a new class of rich middle stratum of peasantry system has come into being and not all of these are from among the ex-jamindars. Sixth, the class inequalities between the top and the bottom levels of the classes have increased rather than decreased. Seventh one, the benefits of land reforms have so far not gone so much to the agricultural workers. Eighth one, as a result of these contradictions in the agrarian class structure, the tensions in the rural social system have increased and are bound to increase further. Ninth one, the sociological process that is dominant in the current class transformation in the villages is the embourgeoisement of some and proletarianization of many social strata. P.C. Joshi, in his celebrated work, has made very incisive comments on the trends in agrarian class structure. Some of these are summarized as under. Number one, it led to the decline of feudal and customary types of tenancies. It was replaced by a more exploitative and insecure lease arrangement. Number 2, it gave rise to a new commercial based rich peasant class who were part owners and part tenants. They had resource and enterprise to carry out commercial agriculture. Third, it led to the decline of feudal landlord class, and another class of commercial farmers emerged for whom agriculture was a business. They used the non-customary types of tenancy. Apart from the above, one of the significant feature of the agrarian society is the Jajmani system. It has been studied by various sociologists like William Weiser, S.C. Dubey, Opler and Singh, K. Ishwaran, etc. The term Jajman refers to the patron or recipient of specialized services, and the term Jajmani refers to the whole relationship. In fact, the Jajmani system is a system of economic, social and ritual ties among different caste groups in a village. Under this system, some castes are patrons and others are serving castes. The serving castes offer their services to the land owning upper and intermediate castes and in turn are paid both in cash and kind. The patron castes are the land owning dominant castes like Rajputs, Bhumihars, Jats in the North India, and Kamma and Reddy in Andhra Pradesh, Okkaliga and Lingayats in Karnataka, and Patidars or Patel in Gujarat. The service castes comprise barbers, carpenters, blacksmith, cobbler, weavers, etc. The Jajmani relations essentially operate at family level. A Rajput land owning family has its Jajmani ties with one family each from Brahmin, barber, carpenter, etc. And a family of service castes offers its services to specific families of Jajmans. However, Jajmani rules are enforced by caste panchayats, but the Jajmani system also possesses the elements of dominance, exploitation and conflicts. There is a vast difference in exercise of power between land owning dominant patrons and poor artisans and landless laborers who serve them. The rich and powerful Jajmans exploit and coerce the poor commons to maintain their dominance. In fact, there is reciprocity as well as dominance in the Jajmani system. Let us discuss about the changing agrarian economy and agrarian class structure in contemporary Indian society. We can identify two important changes in the agrarian economy that came with industrialization and development. First, significance of agriculture declined and it became only a marginal sector of the economy. For example, in most countries of the West today, agriculture employs only a small proportion of the total working population, and its contribution to the total national income of these countries is also not very high. In India also, for example, though a large proportion of population is still employed in agricultural sector, its contribution to the total national income has come down substantially from nearly 60% at the time of independence to less than 15% during the second decade of 21st century. The second important change that has been experienced in the agrarian sector is in its internal social organization. The social framework of agricultural production has experienced a sea change in different parts of the world during the last century or so. The earlier modes of social organizations such as feudalism and peasant societies have disintegrated, giving way to more differentiated social structures. Factors leading to changing class or social structure in agrarian economy can be summed up as follows. Number one, technological changes and modernization of agriculture. The modern industry has provided a large variety of machines and equipment for carrying out farm operation such as plowing and threshing. This mechanization of agricultural production has made it possible for the landowners to cultivate much larger areas of land in lesser time. Introduction of machinery led to the displacement of the service caste groups who used to carry out these agriculture related activities. Then number two, commercialization of agriculture. It altered the relation between landowners and traditional service castes. Jajmani system declined. A shift from payment in kind to payment in cash has happened, but payments are often low. The purchasing power of marginal sections of rural economy declined and inequalities increased. Then third one, land reforms. Land reforms altered the relations between landowners, tenants and labor. Many tenants were dislodged from the land, fearing claims of occupancy rights by the tenants. However, tenurial security is provided for the tenants through tenancy reforms. Then fourth one, green revolution. It made agriculture profitable in green revolution areas. Landowners began to take back land from their tenants and cultivate it directly because cultivation was becoming more profitable. This made the rich farmers better off and worsened the condition of the landless and marginal landholders. Then fifth one, migration. With the breakdown of traditional ties and tenancy relations, use of agriculture labor has also increased and it has stoked inter-regional migration. Well-off states like Haryana and Punjab witnessed a lot of seasonal immigration of labor from states like Bihar and eastern UP. Further, laborers also migrate due to the increasing inequalities in rural areas from the mid-1990s, which has forced many households to engage in multiple occupations to sustain themselves. This has led to rise of a class of free wage laborers. Then sixth point, marketization of land. As a result of land coming into the market, lot of intermediate classes have also emerged. This and other events like green revolution and land reforms have led to differentiation of class or social structure in rural areas. Seventh point is state interventions. New policies of subsidies, cooperatives and agriculture extension have benefited different sections of agrarian society differently and hence have impacted the agrarian social structure as well. And eighth one is politicization and democratization. Apart from economic factors, rural social structure was also affected by political participation of various sections. Arrival of Panchayati Raj system has also affected power dynamics. Attempts of lower castes to become assertive were met with violent retaliation in many cases. Ninth point is education and employment. Due to modern education, employment opportunities outside agriculture have also increased. Due to political empowerment and educational empowerment, new types of rural elite emerged. Then 10th point, processes of industrialization. Establishment of new industries in the vicinity of rural areas also led to rural-urban migrations. This reduced attachment to land also diluted centrality of land in agrarian social structure. Then 11th point, urbanization. As a result of urbanization, rural elites started investing in urban areas in new businesses. They emerged as new entrepreneurs and provided dynamism in the rural elite structure. 12th point, communication and transportation. Rural areas are now well connected to the urban areas and to the wider society as well. It has led to better exploration of employment and educational opportunities and hence provided opportunities to break free from rural social structure. Then 13th point, globalization and liberalization. With globalization, Indian farmers are now integrated with the global economy and hence to the global competitors. They are now forced to use expensive inputs to compete with the competition, which sometimes lead to economic hardships leading to suicides. Farmers also exposed to new agricultural practices like contract farming and genetically modified crops. They are called GM crops. According to the study of Vasavi, such distress is compounded by the changing consumer culture in rural areas where expenditures have increased on marriages, dowry, education and health care among others. These have unforeseen consequences on rural social structure. However, these changes have affected rural structures in different parts of country differently. In regions like Punjab, Haryana and Western UP, landed groups have transformed themselves into a dynamic, entrepreneurial, rural, urban dominant class. On the other hand, in other regions such as Eastern UP and Bihar, the lack of effective land reforms, political mobilization and redistributive measures ensured that there were not too many changes in the agrarian structure and hence in the living conditions of most of the people. Further, in contrast, states such as Kerala have undergone a different process of development in which political mobilization, redistributive measures and linkages to an external economy. Primarily, the Gulf countries have brought about a substantial transformation of the rural social structure. Let us summarize the content of this lesson. In this lesson, we have discussed about the agrarian social structure in India and the transformations that have taken place in contemporary agrarian societies. Increased mechanization of agriculture, advanced technology and communications have all led to a shift in the pattern of social network of interaction. Increased yield due to the intervention of science and technology, improved seeds, etc., led to a situation where surplus food is generated. The attitude of the peasants towards their occupation also undergone drastic change. In the pre-capitalist or traditional societies, the peasants produced mainly for their own consumption. The work in the fields was carried out with the labor of their own family. Agriculture for the peasantry was both a source of livelihood as well as a way of life. In modern times, landowners begin to look at agriculture as an enterprise. They work on their farms with modern machines and produce cash crops which fetch higher prices in the market and therefore generate more money. Thus, profit motive becomes part of agricultural enterprise.